We are going to do our recruiters panel here today. I am the moderator. Let me introduce myself first. My name is, should I stand up? No? Yes? No? I might. I'll just be sitting. Okay. My name is Joyce. I am from National Taiwan University Young Professional Group. I am also a practicing occupational therapist. Today is really my honor to have all these wonderful people to join me today, and to have, these are all the professionals about recruiting the talents, people. They are the professionals, so we're gonna hear from the professionals, and we're gonna have a great discussion today. Yes? Yes. Alright, so before we get started, I want to invite them, to each of them, to introduce themselves a little bit. Maybe tell us about their name, their company, how long have they been in their current positions, and what are some good information they're gonna share with us today. So I'm gonna pass my mic.
Hey everyone, my name is Austin. I'm a coordinator at TCALA. We are a group of angel investors, invested, I think, $560 million in the past 20 years. We do about 10 to 12 deals a year across our branch alone. I'm here because I do recruitment. Everyone who comes in, whether it's for investment startups or just people who work with me, they come to see me first, and then obviously I'm not the last call. But yeah, I do. It's good. I love recruiting, and I'm excited to share what I've learned over the past couple years.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jorge. I'm also a member of TECCNA. I've been with TECCNA a little more than over a year. My background is I'm a physician, and primarily as an investor, invest in health tech, biotech, medtech, and part of the organization here, we're interested in finding talent that can help us with analyzing companies, startups. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Brock. If you have any Pokemon fans, you would know who Brock is. My name is Brock. I'm on the recruiting team at Spokio. I've been at Spokio for going on a year now. About 3 weeks will be my 1 year anniversary. So I work on the technical sourcing side, where I pretty much go to the candidates first, reach out to them, and then hand them over to the recruiters so they can actually do their screenings and all that good stuff. So if you see any initial messages from me regarding your talent and skills, and I think you're a good fit for one of the positions at Spokio, you'll hear from me first.
Hey everyone, my name is Wen. I work for a startup company located in Monrovia. So we are working on developing therapeutics for treating neurodegenerative diseases like ALS, frontotemporal dementia. So I've been with the company for around 6 years now. My background is actually, I'm a scientist, but I was a first employee, so I have to recruit everybody. I got the fortune to pick and choose everybody who's gonna join my team. So that's a great thing about working at a startup, because you get to wear multiple hats. So I think by now, I can say that I'm somewhat experienced recruiter. So we're hiring people with biology background right now. Please welcome to find me after this session.
Hey everyone, my name is Lydia, and I live in San Diego. I'm not sure if there's anyone who lives in San Diego too. I represent Wistron ITS, Weitron Ranti, and we're under our parent company, Wistron, which is Weitron Citong. So we were actually founded in 1992, and we went IPO in Taiwan back in 2014, and that's also when we started tapping into the US market. So pretty much just like her, I'm the first and only salesperson based in the States right now. So I'm trying to build up my team. I'm working to kind of build the entire sales processes, our go-to-market strategy, all that fun stuff. So I'm definitely happy to talk more about like the opportunities that I have in my hand, and yeah.
Okay, sorry I'm late. I'm Ning Yu. I'm VP R&D for Taboola. I run the office in LA and also in Taiwan. Okay, Taboola is the largest recommendation engine business in the world. Okay, that our company went public a year ago, and look at the size. We're currently supporting about 9,000 media partners, and every day there will be 500 million users. We're seeing them, and we're collecting about 100 terabyte data every day, and we do about 1 trillion recommendations per day. So what I try to say is we definitely is an AI company. So who are interested in the most advanced recommendations, system, expert systems, natural language processing, most important, generative AI, please come to talk to us, because we're not only know about those things, but we also have products already produced, already go live. And our team's right over in the corner, so if you're interested in doing something most advanced in the world, please come to talk to us.
Hey, amazing. Thank you guys, thank you all. Most importantly, the tips from the inside. So, I am thinking, we've been done asking questions to them. Why don't we ask questions to our audience? Maybe let's have the audience, like you guys, if you can help me raise your hand. If you have ever searched the following keywords when you're doing a job search on either Google or any kind of job search engine. The company's name of your dream job. Hey, you guys. All right. The title of your dream job. Come on. Cover letter, profile picture, resume template, resume keywords, resume scanner, your GPA, your score, your college degree, your experience, certificate, career Taiwan USA. Anything else? That's it? Okay. So, these are just like some keywords or some terms, like when we're looking for jobs, we usually put it in those like search box and trying to find what's the best way for me to get these people's attention so I can stand out from the crowd, right? So, in addition to doing your own research, I wanted to ask you guys, what are the most important qualities that you guys are looking for in a candidate, and how do you evaluate those things on the resume or during?
So I tend to be super picky about who to bring into our team because I want to make sure that everybody get along really well. So the first thing I really care about is like you have to be nice, like friendly and nice, like really can work with like together with our current teammate. So I'll definitely invite everybody to the interview process and to see if you have the chemistry with us. So during the phone screen, I will just like, I will ask you some behavioral questions, but really ask you about whether you can get along, like, within the small team setting. And then the other thing we really care about is like your references. And then because everybody's gonna try to act their best at the interview, so it's sometimes really difficult to tell how good you are or how honest you are. So besides the technical questions you have to answer correctly, then you really need to find yourself the best reference that will really vouch for you, say, hey, you have to hire this person. Usually if we don't get a really strong reference, then we will tend to just pass on the candidate. So these are the two, like a few tips for you that you really need to think about when you're, before you go into an interview.
For example, the only experience you have is maybe like hosting some student events, right? That's also fine, but something I really want to look out of that experience is really to see, okay, you tell me like you hosted a student event back in like 2020, so how many people really attended the event, right? Is there any percentage, any numbers that you can support that experience? This is definitely something I think all the recruiters are looking for when we're looking at your resume.
Well, we want to make sure the person has some basic business sense. What I do, really helping the company solving problems. What I make the differences. So that's why we're really look into the resumes.
Yeah, I would say yes. Sell yourself
And to kind of piggyback off of everything, and even going back to the resume, is be confident, be charismatic, and also just know exactly what you're planning on to apply to, interviewing for, all that stuff as well, right? Because when it comes back to the resume, make sure it's concise, and just like you said as well, make sure it is data-driven, and we understand how what type of goals you reached, what you've done at your previous organization, and how did you add value to your team, right? We, us as recruiters, that really means a lot as opposed to your job description, just copy and paste it onto your resume, right? So make sure it is data-driven and something that we can actually go off on and, sell you as a candidate to the hiring manager, right?
Thank you.
Can I add?
Yeah, sure.
So one thing I kind of want to add is like whatever you put on your resume, make sure you really know it well. Because like for my background, if you put on an experimental skill there, we'll definitely ask you how exactly you did it. And I definitely call a lot of candidates, after I ask them about detail, they actually know nothing about it, then I will definitely just pass, right? So be honest about what you put there. If you really don't know about it, just say, hey, I heard about it, I'm interested about it, but I haven't done this experiment by myself, then I will be happy with that. But if you try to make up something that I will feel like, hey, you feel like I don't know what you're talking about, then yeah, so I actually feel if that kind of stuff happens, I'll feel very uncomfortable because I feel like you don't respect my profession. So definitely be honest.
Okay, this is one thing. Eric talked about communications. So just
Maybe let's start from what's the best way to contact your recruiters?
I would say cold emails for me personally. Actually, on Thursday, I had someone cold call me for a position. Please do not do that if you can find my phone number online. It's not exactly wise. But every cold email I've ever gotten, I've talked to them, whether it was 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Bonus points if you can bring up, she also went to NYU, so she, we talked about that, or she brought it up. Just maybe sell yourself in a way that gets us to like you a little bit more, just based off the first 2-3 sentences. Make it a little bit personal.
Just wanted to say for virtual meetings, very important to select your background carefully. It can be incredibly distracting. If you're not going to fade it, please don't put something that calls for too much attention. Dress nicely. Don't have to wear pants, I guess, but at least wear something on the top that is. Yes, I've seen a lot of crazy things. So.
Also, connectivity as well. Make sure you test your camera, test your microphone, test everything before your interview time, because we've had, I'm pretty sure we can all relate, we've had so many drop calls and connectivity issues, and we've had to reschedule. So make sure you do that as well.
And I want to say that be early so you have time to test if the link worked or not, or if like the recruiter sent you the right link, or maybe sometimes somebody like forgot to send you a link. So you have time to send an email, say, hey, are we meeting today at this time? So I think be punctual and then really make sure what's your interview time. Yeah.
Pretty much, I think you guys cover everything I wanted to say. So quick reminder before the interview, big thank you note after the interview, be on time, make sure the Wi-Fi is good. I think these are pretty much everything you have to take care of.
We have a 4-level interview. I'm always the last person. But I was told most of the people never get to me. So I always ask them how they reject them, okay? And in our cases, if we're looking for a technical person, we're given a home test. So a lot of people go to Google looking for the answer, give us the perfect answers. So you'll always have a good chance to have a face-to-face interview. But most of our questions have no standard answers. What we're looking for is looking for your thought process, looking for your curiosities, looking for flying sky, what you can think all the boxes. So we're not really looking for a person to have a highest degree, not whatever all the keywords on your resume. We're looking for this person from innate or you're a pure good engineers. Because usually with that chance, we will find a person really passionate for what they're doing and willing to work with the people. So just want to get the people is not think about go to LeetCode and do thousands of questions. If you want to be the best engineers, what you really need is sense of curiosity. Want to know, think hard, because you have to be different from ChatGPT. You have to be better. In that sense, you need to have your own ideas. You need to have your own thought process. Also, you're willing to think deeper. So I think that's the best tips.
Hey, thank you. So I did when I was interviewing for this job is I put together a presentation at the last round of interview where I kind of walked them through if I got this job, this is what I'm going to do. This is my go-to-market strategy. This is my sales strategy. This is how I would tag my accounts. This is how I would send over cold emails. This is how I would reach out to my prospects, right? So I put together like an entire presentation, trying to be more proactive and let them know, hey, I really want this job, and you know what, I know what I'm doing, and I got a plan over here. And the last tip over here is really to have a closing question. So as a salesperson, if you really want to win the deal, you always want to make sure at the end of the call there's a next step, right? So you have to ask a closing question. So I'm a super aggressive person, so usually towards the end of the conversation, toward the end of the interview, I always ask this question. Based on what you learned from me today, is there any reason that you wouldn't hire me for this position? And this is a really super straightforward and super direct questions, and sometimes would just catch the recruiter out of guard. Not trying to make your job more difficult, but I think this is a really good question to ask, and showing that you're super ambitious, you really want this job, and you really want to seek for feedback from the recruiters. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, and I'm actually happy you brought that up too, because myself, I can honestly say as a recruiter, I love to get those types of difficult questions. Yeah, I love it, because it shows, it shows that you're dedicated, right? And this is something that you actually want. And also, from a candidate's perspective as well, don't be afraid to ask the recruiter, how is the interview process? What are these sessions, with a hiring manager or a senior employee on the team or something? What is it going to be about? What are we going to discuss? Us as recruiters, we're not going to say, hey, this is X, Y, and Z and give you all of the answers. But we'll be more than happy to let you know exactly what to expect, right? And I think that will, you as a candidate, make you a lot more comfortable within the interview process, knowing.
And then the first few questions they asked me about all just, they made me feel like all they care about is the compensation. They just keep asking about the salary, what's the work-life balance, whether you have a relocation package, and then the person actually lives in Long Beach, like in the same state. and never asked about any what's the goal of our company, what's his career growth plan, or what's his day-to-day life is gonna be like. Clearly he only cares about the money, not about what we do. So that's complete turn off. So I think you should really be prepared of the job content, and then really show your interest about the company. I mean, for sure everybody cares about money, but then you don't have to ask it right away, because we all know about it. But we really want to find a candidate that's passionate about our work, what we do, and then we will happy to compensate you, right? Yeah.
I have to follow on this one. Okay, what we're saying is we hire people for the fit, their motivations. Okay, so my recent past interviews were with all the regulars. So do you have any questions? Right, the person didn't ask for salaries, didn't work for work-life balance. He said, well, he asked, meaning, what did you read recently? What book are you reading? I was shocked. Okay, so I started going through the books one by one, what I read. I was being interviewed. Okay, but I had the best conversation for a long time. We'll finally talk about the books, our different ideas, and our thought process, and Tara is my best hired. So the person needs to do exactly what I say, show curiosity. He's making a decision if this is the company they want to work with. You want to work with the people, want to be challenged, not be afraid, and also are having intellectual curiosity, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So asking good questions is very important, because then you will find out if the company is really the best for you.
Yeah. So I think that's a really good point too, because not just you wanting to get a job, but you also want to make sure whatever your vision is matching the company's vision, and then this is the place you want it to be, and this is a place they value you as well. So I heard that we're talking about something that make you guys very impressive or like asking good questions, and then have like you share about like having a closing question that's very straightforward to make them understand how motivated you wanted for that job. And then I even heard about like putting together a presentation so that people knows like how professional you can be, and then they can also not just check on your skills, but also see like how you like those basic office skills. Yeah. Hey, cool. And then lastly, maybe let's all spend 1 to 2 minutes to share about any final piece of advice that you would like to give to the audience. I noticed that today most of us are job seekers. Is it? Yes, okay. So like any advice for people who's like looking for jobs?
Yeah, right now it's pretty tough. I know the market is crazy. So just put yourself out there, come to events like these, go around, meet people. The benefits of the people you meet at these events go way beyond jobs, I've, myself personally, people I've met at events, whether it was like for jobs or, investing events. I actually got my job with this angel group because of someone I met 5.5 years ago when I was in BC. So put yourself out there, be your true self. During interviews, learn about us. Do not, okay, I'll give you an example. On Tuesday, we interviewed someone, and she told me I probably didn't know what a SaaS company is. We've invested probably over $200 million in SaaS companies, so not a good look, but be yourself, put yourself out there, and honestly, good things will come. It just takes time.
Yeah, I think be shameless, be respectful, and network.
That's good that you brought up networking. Networking is extremely important, especially if you don't know anyone at the specific company. I absolutely love getting on LinkedIn every day and just seeing people, hey, I'm interested in X, Y, Z, and I respond to every single person, no matter if they, meet the job qualifications or not, because even if they don't, you may have something, another job for them or something coming down the pipeline, right? Always feel free to add recruiters or anybody in talent acquisition or any other positions within a company on LinkedIn, right? That's very, very important. And also, put yourself out there, also be confident too, I feel like we're our own worst judgment as humans, right? A lot of us kind of think we have imposter syndrome sometimes, and we don't deserve what we have, but never feel that way. Feel confident in your skills and your ability, right? Because once you're confident, that it just exudes it to the recruiter, and we can actually see that for sure.
Yeah, I want to add to that. So LinkedIn is actually pretty important because we usually stalk on people on LinkedIn to check down who you are. So make sure you build a good LinkedIn profile, put on all those data, how many things you've done. And then also don't be afraid to reach out to the potential hiring manager. Because every time after I post a job, I got hundreds of resumes. So I might accidentally skip a few. But if you send me a message, I'm oh wait, where is your resume? I'll look at it, right? So yeah, build a LinkedIn profile and reach out to people on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think job hunting really starts with knowing your own experience, building your own story, because that's the only way that can make your interview super relevant to this company and to the opportunity that you're interviewing for. So I think that's definitely the first step first. And the second step is definitely, take the initiative. If you really want something, take the initiative to research into the company, research into the space that you're breaking into, research into the position, right, on the company page, right, and take the initiative to cold outreach to recruiters, right, just to present yourself and put yourself out there. So yeah.
Well, recruiter gave you the best ideas. But what I say is, you are not trying to find a job. You are building a career. Okay? Building a career, doing something you feel passionate about it, you have to show it. Okay? Show it your resume. show your stories, and show your love of doing this. Study the company well. The last thing I want to do is don't come to a interview, do not know that company. There's something called ChatGPT. Please use it. Our office just did a survey. I asked all my people who's using ChatGPT. 80% people are using it. Now I look at the people really using it and looking very successfully. They all are my top engineers. Self-learning. Before you come, check out that company and try to figure out there's a match for you and do your homework.
Hey, sorry, I said that was the last question, but I actually wanted to add one more question. Now you mentioned like building your profile on LinkedIn. I'm just curious, besides getting resumes, emails, phone calls, do you guys also reach out or what are some websites or places that can you share with us that you guys reach out, look for the talents so that they can start building their profile on those places?
So for me, I use LinkedIn Recruiter as my primary tool. But however, I'll get to the other things that I use in a bit. But one thing I do want to say about LinkedIn is keep your profile up to date. Ensure that your skills are accurate. Also, endorsements from your colleagues help a lot as well, because sometimes, you may forget that you're, great at one skill, or you may forget that that you are great at one skill. Sorry about that. And you may not, put that as the main point on your profile, LinkedIn profile, but someone at your company can endorse you for that skill that you probably forgot to put on there, right? And me as a recruiter, I can actually go in and say, hey, this person can actually do this, and I'll reach out to say, hey, do you have this skill set? And they're like, oh yeah, for sure. So I'll be interested in that, right? But we also use a platform called Blind. Not too sure if anyone's heard of Blind before, but Blind, yeah. So we use Blind quite a bit. Blind is a platform where you can actually sign up at your current organization, but it doesn't use your actual name or anything like that. It just shows that you're anonymous user 123 at this specific company, right? But you're able to talk to different people within the community or different colleagues within your own organization about said company. But it does have a recruiting space where I'm actually able to look at candidates that way that may be open, to looking at careers. Also, make sure your GitHub is up to date as well. Use GitHub quite a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Just a quick note, there's a software out there called Linked Helper. I'm all about like automation and whatnot. It's really useful. I've used it when I was looking for a job. It's linked to where it's Linked Helper. No, we have no interest in them, no vested interest. But yeah, so I would use that, look into using that. It's great at automating, the workflow behind looking for a job, and linked Helper.
Well, definitely use your resource and attending the meetup. Someone talked about building relationship. There's a lot of meetups. The pandemic is over, so please go out, join this type of events, build connections. There are so many vendors out there, and go to talk to them.
All right, so build your connections, go to the meetups, make your connections. Definitely use the platform LinkedIn, Blind, Linked Helper. Linked Helper. That's the one I'm gonna look up tonight. Alright, so once again,
So before I ask the question, because all these recruiters are from different fields, this is the best opportunity today for you to ask any questions, risk-free. So just feel free, we'll open about 2 to 3 questions and then you can network later. And my first question is very simple, because especially big companies like you get 100,000 resumes every day. And we as Taiwanese people, sometimes we don't have a good communication or resume writing skills. So a lot of us, we might send resumes to 10, 20 companies, but all get rejected. So my question is, how do we at least get in the foot at the door to get into the first interview? Because a lot of us engineers, we have skills, If you see us, we will get hired. But if you see my resume, probably not. So how do I get myself to the first interview? And then you know me, you like me, that I have more opportunities. Thank you.
So for me and Spokio personally, our ATS system that Harrison spoke about earlier is linked to LinkedIn, right? So reach out to the hiring team. All of our jobs that were posted from our ATS actually go over to LinkedIn. And anytime we post a new job, I'm actually adding myself to it to say, hey, I'm hiring for this job. Do you know anybody, right? So the thing is that if you reach out to me and let me know that you actually applied, I can go to the hiring manager or I can go to one of the senior recruiters on the team and say, hey, this individual reached out to me. They have the skills needed for this role. Let's go ahead and possibly speak to them, right? Because just as you said, there's hundreds and hundreds of applications, and to stand out, just put yourself out there, for sure.
If you're really looking for a job and need a job, then you should really work on your resume. Yeah, so there are a lot of professional organizations that if you pay them, they will really help you out. But I feel like, if you're still a student, there's like career center, they will actually edit your resume for free. Or if you have friends or like the senior students like already graduated or got a job, I'm pretty sure they will be happy to look over your resume. Like I graduated from USC. I know like people from USC, they were looking for a job. They send me an email saying, hey, can you look at my resume? Does it look good? Do you like the format? I'm happy to do that. So yeah, just ask your friend and acquaintances. I'm pretty sure that they will help you. But you have to really go out to get help, right? That's the first step.
I want to be honest. About years ago, our recruiter, because we have a close relationship with UCLA, so I'm sitting on UCLA's the Computer Science Advisory Board, and I have a close connections. So we got hundreds of resumes from UCLA. Taiwanese students' resume never get to my table. Do you know why? Not because your resume is not good enough. It is for certain field, you need to build up your experience before you get to my table. Most of the Taiwanese never do any internship. Most of the Taiwan students never done any research. Only talk about your courses. And there's no way to compete. Okay, you cannot compete with local US students. You cannot compete with the students from China. So try to make sure you actually build yourself up. That's why I talk about curiosity. All you did is just be a good student, have an A grade is not enough. So I would strongly recommend you try to diversify. You will go to the non-profit organization and do some volunteer work and do something, because otherwise your resume just look too thin. It's not going to earn any of the awards from all the TAs here.
Thank you so much. I saw your hand raised earlier. Do you want to?
Hi, this is Jerry, and thank you so much for this amazing sharing. I have a question in mind. So for us fresh grads, getting a job is the end of student career, but it's the start of the rest of your life, 40, 30 years. Have you ever received or given, what's the single best advice you've given or received that might have changed that guy's career or even yours?
Can you be more specific?
So, what is one career advice that you received that changed your career drastically?
What's your major?
Financial engineering.
Let's start that.
I'm on the spot now.
I think the best advice I've received and I've given is to never stop learning, right? I mean, it's always important to, ChatGPT is proof of that. It will come on board, it'll be a new technology, and I think it's important to be able to adapt, that it will be part of us. And now the one thing about living in this era is that changes are happening faster and faster, so being at the edge and understanding the technologies that are coming up and being able to take part of that, I think is very important.
Okay, I thought of a good one for you. So if you think about how the times change, I used to know MATLAB, it's engineering code, it's the only language I knew. But there was a software engineer at Google, I think he was there since close to the beginning. His name is Reed, and he told me you have to stay with the times. You can't rely on, let's say if you're in coding, you can't rely on Python or C++. It seems like in every industry, things are changing, constantly. Like we're seeing it now, with Slack. We use Slack, and then now, you hear about the next big thing. So we have to transition there. If you stick, with the old times, it's going to come back, and it's not going to be good. So you said financial engineering. So whatever softwares or programs you use, just make sure you stay in the know. Just kind of, read the news.
I feel like I'm on the spot too. This is not really career advice, but this is something that my dad told me when I was little, and it kind of works as career advice, I guess you could say. My dad used to tell me, read something new every day that you do not know about. Because, at the end of the day, just like you said, knowledge is power, gain more knowledge. And it doesn't matter about what it is, just read about it, read up on it so you know about it, right? It could affect you in the future. You never know that. But that's something that stuck with me. I love reading. I read something new every single day. And yeah, I think that has helped me, quite a bit for sure.
Yeah, I got a tip for international student actually. So early on, there's somebody told me about interview process, not really just about your technical skill. It's actually to convince people that they want to work with you. Like they want to see you every day, they want to be your colleague. So that you cannot just need to be smart, you actually need to be funny. Or friendly, so they want to work with you. So I actually spent a lot of time in the early days. I watched a lot of comedies, and just try to blend in the culture, or watch sports news, local news, because you need to know how to do small chats. Because when you go interview, you have dinner with your colleagues, and if you have nothing to say about anything, or when they're just chatting about what happened yesterday on the news, you have no clue about it, then it will be a little bit weird, you just feel awkward to even just sitting right next to this person having dinner, because you just have no idea what they're talking about. So I think cultural fit is also very important, that you need to know what's going on in your daily life, so then you can really work with your colleagues, day to day. Yeah, so that's the other perspective I would like to, give you about the job interview.
I think it's all about connecting dots. It's all about connecting the dots on your resume to land on your first job, and you have to start with something. So, and along the way, you will pivot. You will learn about where your real passion is, right? Because maybe you're still in your early 20s or early 30s, but there's not everyone knows what they really want to do for the rest of your life. So there's no rush to rush into a job just because you think this is where your passion is. Just be open-minded and keep learning, right? Keep learning is just really important, and along the way you'll connect the dots and build up your career and build up your resume. So yeah.
So you're doing financial engineering, right?
Yes.
So I ask you questions. Which bank is on the edge to go bankruptcy? And who's going to take over?
So I have a list of all the most highly risked banks. So I can send you a link through WhatsApp. Bank Hope, Bank of America is actually at the if you look at the balance sheet. And First Bank.
First Republic.
First Republic just recently.
Okay, I guess you do homework. What do you think if in fact we're going to raise the interest rate next week or not? Yes or no?
Good question.
What I try to say is, I think what I try to cover everyone trying to say, learn everything. What happened around you? Okay, you want to be a cultural fit, you want to be part of it. The most important, you need to decide why you want to be in this country. Okay, you want to be part of it. You want to know all of the area around you. How do people care about what's their concern professionally and personally? When you get that point, it's very easy to really go to your career to the next step. Otherwise, you are just a Taiwanese and working here. That's not enough.
Thank you so much. Thank all 6 panelists for this amazing live sharing lesson.
Oh, I thought you were going to close it for me. Wait a second. I have something to say too. So, I'm not a recruiter, but I just want to speak from my personal experience because our profession is a very small world. So our professor and all my seniors have been telling me like, you never want to burn the bridge. Like you want to keep all your connections, even though you are switching jobs or you're leaving your professors and going to the practice, the career, you want to keep all the connections and then make sure they remember when they are thinking of you, they think of all the good things, not like how you burn the bridge, break the relationships and never connect again. All right, I think we have time for one more question. One more question. Please. Please. No? Oh. Alright, come back.
Hello, my name is Jerry. I just wondered that how do you do keyword research to build your resume? Do we Google it? Do we just Google it, or do we use ChatGPT to do the research?
So you're talking about like keywords, Jay, where'd you go? Oh, so you like what word? Okay, ChatGPT. Like I use it for everything.
So keywords on resume, are you like, how are you trying to figure out what keywords to put on the resume, or?
So basically right now, I'm trying to build my resume, right? And I was wondering what kind of keyword I should put on my resume. I'm personally a media buyer, right? So I do social media buying, also PPC buying. And I was always wondering that, what kind of keyword I should put on my resume, and how do I do research to find those keywords?
That's a really good question. I would say use the tools available to you. I mean, ChatGPT, Google, and really you have to tailor to the field you're going in and the job that you're applying for too, right? So there's really not a blanket statement that I could give you, unfortunately, because I feel like you as a candidate need to know exactly which keywords are needed for the career path that you're going towards, right? So, a lot of people have a misconception that an ATS system recruits for recruiters, and that's I keep saying ATS system, but it's ATS. The S is for system. But that's a common misconception, right? So resumes are not defined in an ATS by keywords, right? So you just want to make sure that the keywords stand out to the recruiter for the role that you're actually applying for, right? So that's I guess you could say where you want to start. Maybe Google that, use ChatGPT and all that stuff as well.
Just kidding. So, is that okay? So, the interesting thing is in the past, when I used to be young and I had to look at somebody's resume, you had to ask your friend to show you your resume, or that was a little hard. Well, somebody came out with an idea of putting resumes out there for everybody to see. It's called LinkedIn. So if you know somebody whose job is the one job that you want, you can literally go to the LinkedIn page and we'll tell you all of the keywords you can use. So it's a fantastic resource that way too as well.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I thought about it now. Give me a minute. So what I would do is reverse engineer the process. You're gonna go to ChatGPT today. You're gonna ask it to look at the top 10 Google job search. Like when you search a job on Google, it's different UI. So if you have it search the top 10 and then compare them all, and that should bring out some phrases or keywords, and then use that on your resume. That's how I would do it. I think that would be a good way.
Well, I would just like look for the job descriptions for the position you're looking for. Just go on LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, and then just put usually there's like requirements or responsibility section, and then they will tell you exactly what kind of skill sets they want you to have, and just put everything on your resume if you know how to do those things. So those will be the keyword. Look at the job description, look for the skill set you need to have, and put it on your resume.
And another thing, piggybacking off of that as well, is that you can always go to a company page that you're interested in, find an individual that's actually doing that job as well, and other than just the job description, go through their LinkedIn page and kind of see exactly what keywords and what skills they're using, and then just like you said, add the ones that you know as well. That will help quite a bit.
Yeah, there's also a super traditional way that you can do that. If you want to Google resume action verb, and there's like a list of verbs I can use on a resume, and that's what I used when I was in college. And that's more old school way, but it works.
I have people complain to me they submit 100 resumes, couldn't get any job. Okay, so it's not a general resume. Personalized, customized. Go to a company's website and think about it if this job is what you like. Number one, not what you fit. Do you like this job description? Do you want to do this job? And have a very detailed discussion and figure out what they're looking for. And try to figure out what you want to put on your resumes. And this is easier for you to make people feel like you really understand their companies, you understand their needs. If you do not have the skill, it's okay? But you need to somehow format your resume that company will be interested in you, okay? Personalization.
Hey, so that's all we have for this panel discussion. Once again, thank you all the professionals here. We have media here, for joining us, and thank you all for coming to this panel discussion. And if there's a lot of good insight